It is Friday, and I am not going to discuss ways to fix America. I'm not going to talk about incentives or books, though I do enjoy doing that and did earlier this week. Now it's Friday. I'm just going to kick back, and I'm going to discuss funny headlines with my funny friends. And those funny friends are Mr. Nick Sperdute and Mr. Andrew Young. Hello, Nick.
Hi.
Happy Friday to you. And hello, Andrew Young.
Yeah, what's up?
Good to see you both again. Good to see you both again. Young, did
Last
you?
time we did this, we got really heated really quick. So we'll see what happens.
Now, are you talking about when we were doing the fake news game that we did that aired last week?
We did headlines.
Yeah, you guys were needlessly antagonistic to me. Now that I remember this, like all of a sudden, I was the bad guy.
I don't recall this.
He
okay.
says all of a sudden with quotes.
Young, you're out in Los Angeles. Did you have to contend with the Arctic blast that laid waste to my state and that of Texas?
No. We skipped through that entirely because we live in a land of fake dreams and marshmallow pops.
Yep, there you go. I think you nailed it.
Either it wasn't as bad as it was in Texas, at least.
No, I think Texas got the worst of it. Texas definitely the grid went off several times and all of that. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to make small talk with you both before I jumped into the headlines.
Doesn't New York get pretty bad?
Yeah, good idea. Small talk. Let's just get into the weather. That's pretty fun. Pretty fun to get into to start a comedy show about headlines.
Yeah.
New York we got a couple of decent snows this year as opposed to last year where we only got one little decent snow. This year we got a few big ones, but nothing compared to that. It wasn't.
What's the big bullshit storm that everyone the Noreaster?
Yeah,
Katrina.
Oh, God.
No, I don't think that's it.
No, I have distinct memories of that being a thing.
Yeah, but I think that was a one-time thing, Heaton. The Noreaster is a recurring event, which I believe it refers
El
to
Shario. No, what was that thing when we were in 7th grade? There was El Bingo or El Shingo or so. There was some kind of tropical.
There's El Nino, which still happens every year. It wasn't just when we were kids.
El Shingo.
Wait, that's still a thing. They haven't fixed that yet. We have bombs, we have planes, we have salt. I could fix this. I could figure out a way to do that. I'm pretty sure if you drop salt bombs into a tropical storm.
Hold on, Heaton. Your proposal to fix this is to drop salt in the ocean?
Yes. That is. Well, no, hold on. It's to drop it into the clouds. It's not going to do anything if you drop it into the ocean. That's stupid. You got to drop it into the clouds. The salt will suck up the humidity and then fall into the ocean, and then it'll just be more ocean. It'll be saltier and wetter, but the wet and the salt will cancel each other out. But it'll get it out of the sky.
Or it'll just rain salt on all of our crops, therefore making all the fields fallow.
I think the important thing is we got to push forward. We got to keep trying new things, and it sounds like somebody here is a little bit more cautious than I am. And
well, then we just need filtration systems that filter out the salt
Nick.
from the rain that we put salt in.
Okay, hold on just a second. So now what you're suggesting is that we build some sort of water umbrella to cover entire states that then catches all of the salt water that we ourselves have put in the clouds to stop a tropical storm event that happens once a year, which, granted, it's an inconvenience and many people die, but is a one-time thing per year.
What I'm hearing is Heaton here is willing to mobilize the resources of our great nation and #science. And Young is dismissing the deaths of the people who die from El Nino, which I deeply care about and remember the name of.
Yeah.
So that's
Keaton,
what
how often do you use #science to get away with saying utter bullshit?
Whenever I'm applying for a grant, I always use #science. That's one of my tricks. Is there's the word national and institute. I go ahead and put in #science in there. Well, I think I will bring up our first headline of the week, which unfortunately does involve weather and ice. Nick, you've kind of, man, I'm going to get a little bit of performance anxiety here now that you've brought up the foibles of kicking it off with weather. All the same, coming one time, it was Thanksgiving. And
all right, it was cold. Whatever.
Big meals.
I get it. We ate a lot. You were tired.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
We
Anyway,
drank.
okay.
I don't know what we're talking about, and I feel left out.
Whiskey dick. Look it up. All right. So, go ahead, Andrew.
Whiskey, look it up.
Whiskey Dick.
Yes,
Look it up.
Whiskey Dick, which was my nickname when I worked at a strip club. So okay.
Let's bring it back.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. It's back to Dr. Tassels, which is where I worked at. Dr. Tassels.
Dr. Tassels.
All strip clubs have horrible names. They're never good names. Like, so I had to drive. I don't like strip clubs, but I had to drive through the strip club district in Dallas to get to work when I worked there. And so, for example, one of the establishments that was located on the way, it wasn't a strip club. It was called Condoms to Go. As opposed to what? As opposed to what?
Condoms
Are you
to
just
stay.
going to bang there in the parking lot? Or there's like a couch you can flop out on? It was, but and all of the names, like the
letting
names
you know
were
what
like,
it is. At least it's being very obvious and open.
Hayden, there could easily be a place called Condoms to Stay.
I agree.
Yes, it's called Amsterdam, and they're very upfront about that. And
I'll be honest, I think Rubbers to Go is a better name.
Yeah, well, it somehow sounds even worse, though.
I
agree.
Yeah,
I like it.
I prefer rubber to condom any day.
Yeah.
Or sheath. Sheath is what they use in the UK.
I like to
Sheath
say
to go.
mittens. I like to say mittens because then it's cute. As in, I don't like using
never
mittens.
cute.
I feel
It's never cute.
I don't feel
It's
like I
never
can.
cute.
I want to touch.
I'm just
you directly
now I'm
with-
just
with
now
my
I'm
bare
just
hand.
imagining with a 5-headed Hydra penis.
Oh my God, save the queen.
Anyway, I've got this
Who
headline
said we
about
need
snowmen.
headlines?
Yeah. I've got this headline. It involves snowmen. Can I tell you about it? The headline is, "Who iced Mr. Who iced Mr. Frosty? Dutch cops investigate murder only to discover the victim is a snowman." So, yeah, that's good compared to all that sex talk we had. This comes to us from Amsterdam, where cops found a body in a park on Tuesday. It was a snowman body. That
Wait, don't
somebody
they
had-
call their dicks Mr. Frosty in Amsterdam? Isn't that a thing?
No, that's not a thing anywhere. it's
Mr.
just
Frosty
some
to Go.
kids.
Everybody knows it.
Some kids made a parent man splayed out on the snow, and the cops came by and went, "Oh no, a body!" And then they walked out to look at this corpse, and lo and behold, it was in fact a snowman. And they all said, "Ha ha! The Netherlands sure are great. This is all the crime we're going to have for today: a fake snow corpse."
Do we think that it was actually upright and fell over?
As
As opposed to
Excellent
being
question.
made like on the ground already? I would assume it was. Go ahead.
Excellent question, Nick. I looked, and it was not merely a horizontal snowman. It was rather a approximation of a man who is laying down horizontally. I can understand why you think it's a corpse, but for the
It
carrot nose.
Seems like
They did put a
bad
carrot nose in it.
snowman etiquette.
I think it was meant to appropriate or to approximate a corpse.
No. I think
There's no way
appropriates the
they
word
made
we
it.
want.
There's no way they were like making this going, let's make sure this looks like a dead body. There's no way.
Maybe. So what I had planned to do, the Arctic blast that came through, I had wanted
What's the name
to
for that?
get it's La Nina. It's La Nina. So if it's hot, it's a boy. If it's cold, it's a woman. That's not me. That's the Spanish language. I didn't have anything to do with that. No
one's
commentary
blaming you.
on my end.
No one's blaming you. Go ahead.
But when La Nina came through the Oklahoma-Texas corridor, what I was going to do was get a bunch of snowmen together, and I was going to have a bunch of them fleeing one snowman who was going to have a hatchet and have like red. I was going to get Kool-Aid and pour it over his mouth, and then have like other snowmen dripping. I was going to have this really macabre snowman homicidal, and then I was like, this is a lot of work. So I just didn't do it instead. But I thought about doing it.
So
'cause I'm creative.
you're saying you're lazier than Dutch boys.
Yes, I am.
Can I for a
Maybe
second?
I'm just busier than Dutch boys. How
I'll be
many
honest,
Dutch boys have a
That's a really
podcast?
good follow-up to Happier as Werewolves. Is lazier than Dutch boys. It's a
Lazier
really
than-
good
yeah.
follow-up to your next book. I think that's perfect.
What's the theme of this novel series you write, Heaton? It's always just an adverb followed by a group. The characters change, the plot lines change. Yeah.
Eventually, it gets more insensitive to various groups.
Yes, it gets. I'm gonna start super white so I don't get in trouble, and then I'm just gonna keep going until I get in trouble, and then I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, because your first title implies that werewolves are angry. Your second title implies that the Dutch are generally lazy.
Yes. They are. Always walking around, putting their fingers in dikes, just standing around. Fix the dike. What's wrong with you?
Can I make this article in its entirety makes me mad for a lot of reasons. The biggest of which is this reporter got paid for this article.
I don't know.
That makes me really.
Who knows?
No, I think this is in the Telegraph, right?
Oh, is this what that's from?
The Telegraph?
I think it was the Telegraph.
No. This is Daily Mail. Thank you. Daily Mail, or as I call it, the Side Boob Gazette. The Telegraph is a far better publication than this. The Telegraph is the voice of Britain.
Either way, this reporter got paid for what should have been a light anecdote around the water cooler. And he got paid to make this into a story and report it as though anyone should care.
I think this story is like, it's one of those where you get it and you go, oh, well, this is a great excuse for puns. Just to be able to make a pun-filled story. That's what this was right from the
Daily
top.
Mail is known for that.
Right,
the Daily Mail likes having
Look
pun-filled headlines. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. I mean, even in what you put here, it's like the iced victim. Like, you know, they're all the whole puns.
Yeah,
just
story. Trail has gone cold.
Yeah. It's all pun. Cold-blooded murder. Yeah.
The snowman had a dick called Mr. Frosty. Stuff like that was in the article.
Weird stuff like that I didn't even see. Did you have to click on the link for that? I didn't see that. I guess you probably had to.
I think I clicked on that link and then I followed it down a rabbit hole.
I am so unimpressed with puns and so inured to puns at this point that I didn't even notice any of them. I was just, how do I make hay out of this, and moved on with my life. Puns. Yeah. All right. One more question regarding snowmen antics.
Oh, good.
I thought about, because we also have this cabin in Wagner that I've been broadcasting out of. Yep. I thought about making myself Bigfoot tracks and waking up early and making Bigfoot tracks throughout the neighborhood. But then I was afraid either one, people would see me and I'd be that weird Bigfoot guy, or two, if I did it in costume. If I did it in costume, I think someone would just gun me down. Like if you tried to do in Oklahoma, Young, you're from Oklahoma. If you were to try to effect a Bigfoot sighting and you were in costume, do you think somebody would shoot you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would have shot someone. And I'm not even that.
The governor would just walk out on a porch. Bam! Got him.
Most of Oklahoma didn't stick with me, but that definitely did. The desire to just shoot things that have fur? Absolutely.
It's bipedal, it's hairy, it's either a bear, a Bigfoot, or a guy impersonating one of the two. We should shoot it on site.
Or, even if it was just a man with bad hygiene, that's offensive enough to shoot.
It's legal in Caddo County. That's the law. All right, so on the note of illegal things then, the next headline is, Feds seize $2.82 million worth of frosted cocaine cornflakes. This took place at Border Protection. People were coming in from, I think they were going to Hong Kong from South America, and the Border Patrol tested this and found that there was a shipment of 44 pounds of cornflakes, and they'd been coated in cocaine. And the bit that confuses me here is just how would you eventually get the cocaine back? I realize this is funny and everything. I'm just, do you shake it really hard? Yeah.
However, it says that it was going to a private residence, so maybe they just enjoy cocaine cornflakes. I mean,
maybe there's some guy in, you know what? It to each his own. You know, and if that guy in Hong Kong, I have to say, just because I want to I need to do the PSA thing, please be careful what you put in your body. We really have diets that are very heavy in carbs and gluten, and you don't need to worry about it that much. So, be sure to have a balanced breakfast. Don't only eat cornflakes. Have other things on top of that. But if the guy really likes cocaine and cornflakes, why not give it a shot? I don't know.
I like to imagine that one man took each cornflake individually and then shook off the cocaine into a bowl and then poured milk over that and ate it and threw the cornflakes away.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
I would guess it's some sort of sifting thing. You got to have them all and just kind of shake out all the coke.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not going to be as well coated on there as the stuff that's actually already coated, like the frosted stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because it's not baked with it, right? So it's just probably poured on it. So it would come off if you shook it.
Yeah, that stands to reason.
Makes sense. I
don't know. I feel like you'd still lose some, though. I feel like you'd lose some. Really,
agree.
the only logical explanation, I think, is there's some guy in Hong Kong that loves cornflakes and cocaine and fully intended to mix them together.
What if he's using the cornflakes to cut the cocaine so that when he crushes it all together, he's getting a slightly diluted cocaine and he's snorting the whole concoction?
Maybe the sugar
or he's selling it to people and they're like, "No, this is pure, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally pure." And they're like, "There's no rat poison in it." And he's like, "No rat poison." And they're like, "There's no breakfast cereal." And he's like, "Well, I mean, there could be a little breakfast cereal. I mean, you can just anticipate these things happening across international lines. It's just that might happen. Don't worry about it. It won't be lethal."
I keep forgetting how many users ask the question, "Is there breakfast cereal in this cocaine that I'm eating?"
God, you've been to one, you've been to a million. You know.
Can I ask? Did it say how they, caught on to the fact? Because normally, if I saw this many cornflakes,
yeah.
Oh, that.
I would have guessed there's 44 pounds of cornflakes, and I'm going to look into that.
So it was in Cincinnati where this happened. Officers opened the box and saw cereal with white powder with flakes coated in a grayish substance, which so far is cornflakes. They tested the flakes and the substance, and they found that they contained cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess just nobody tends to buy 44 boxes of cornflakes and then sends it privately rather than directly through the cornflakes company.
I like the idea that they called someone and were like, "Hey, we need a cereal expert. Can you call Joe? Because this is getting..." And then Joe comes over and he's just like, "What do we got? What are we talking about? Frosted Flakes? Let me see. Let me check these out. Yeah, that's Coke." So that
have either of you ever smuggled anything? Like Coke? I know some of my friends would try and smuggle. Well, cocaine would be a great example of smuggling, Nick. I know a few people that have smuggled. They'll go to Amsterdam and they'll get marijuana and they'll put it in like a Ziploc baggie and then they'll put that inside of their shampoo bottle. That way, there's like a layer
up their anus.
Or up their anus, but that's intense right there, right? You really want that marijuana if you're putting it up your anus.
Depends on how often you use your anus for stuff.
That's fair.
That's true. If you just view it as a meat pocket rather than a specific
that made it so much worse.
Thing, then...
Yeah, why'd you say meat pocket?
Then I imagined a hot pocket.
Okay.
That's a good idea. What if we smuggled cocaine in hot pockets?
I've never had cocaine. I don't have any desire to try cocaine because I like the feeling of confident euphoria too much, and I feel like I'd go overboard. So I don't want to dabble in that. But I'm guessing that a hot pocket with cocaine would probably be sublime.
What on earth do you have in your life to feel confidently euphoric about?
Exactly, that's the point. Is that I like the feeling, but I can't get it. And so if I had a means through which to pharmaceutically induce that state, of course I would.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
That's fair.
All right. Gonna move on.
Sorry, are we being mean to you again, Eden?
No, I think
Not me. I didn't say
anything.
anything.
An appropriate level.
Hey, well, Nick, join in.
It's just young. It's just young. It's making horrible. I had a whole anecdote. One time I was, it'll come back again. It involves smuggling and pasta, but it'll come back.
Yeah, I'm sure that a couple more of these stories will involve smuggling and or Italian gluten-based foods.
So, in my other hometown of Edinburgh, woman bit off man's tongue in street brawl before Seagull swooped down and ate it. A man who had a large chunk of his tongue bitten off by a female thug was left horrified when a seagull swooped down and ate it.
Wow, I can't believe that a seagull ate a whole lady.
No, Nick, the seagull... so this is what happened. These two folks are in Leith, which is historically a grittier neighborhood in Edinburgh. And
what does that mean, Heaton? How is it gritty?
Well, it's the coffee.
People fight each other with bottles, and they're drunk and stuff. It's just
so it's like Wales.
It's yes.
They're always using the rough side of a sponge.
Wales is fine. I don't know. Leith is the grittier part of town. It's where it's just you're more likely to get into a fight there. But there's nice stuff there. Like you and I stayed in Leith when we were down there, and like Hepburn lives at the top of Leith Walk.
At the time, but he didn't.
Anyway,
all right, I've been here. I should know this.
You've been there. It was great, right? But historically, historically is known for being like it's cleaned up, but it used to be. There's still some unsavory elements there. For example,
like
a
whales.
woman that got in a fight with a stranger and over the course of this fight knocked him to the ground, kissed him, and then bit off a chunk of his tongue, spit it out, and then a seagull ate it. Now, I don't blame Leith for the seagull. I think that could have happened anywhere. Anywhere you bite off a tongue and spit it onto the ground, a seagull could theoretically come
but
and
it's
get it.
known
That's just
that
proximity
Leith's,
to the sea.
but it's known that Leith seagulls are particularly gritty.
They are much grittier than typical seagulls. I've known that
They're
too.
working class seagulls.
Historically.
They're more of the factory lads, you know. They're not living in Newtown. I don't want to it's not my goal here to crap on Leith. It's to point out the absurdity of a Scotswoman fighting a man by kissing him, biting his tongue off, and then spitting it on the ground. Not his whole tongue, by the way. Just a little bit of the tongue. Enough that it's going to leave a mark, and he might have a little bit of a thing.
A pretty soap opera type of fight. It feels very super dramatic for a fight.
I don't know if I would describe it as a soap opera fight. I don't remember anyone biting off parts of people in soap operas.
You never watched Passions. That's your problem. It was historically it's known as one of the grittier soap operas of its time. But we can get into that another day.
Yeah, I can't even. It's like you guys have you've hobbled me. It's like if you've ever been in the bathroom and somebody comes up behind you and kicks you in the back of the knee. That's how I feel. I have all these setups, and I'm like, well, now the setup doesn't work. All right, Nick, you take it.
Maybe you should pull your pants up. Before we keep going. Okay, so what I do see out of this is that they did arrest these people, right? They arrested everybody?
Yeah. They
including
arrested the
the
lady.
seagull?
Oh, no,
That's
they
right.
shot the seagull on sight.
Yeah, somebody just threw a boomerang at it or something. No, the lady has been apprehended. She's pled guilty, and so we'll presumably it'll just be a question of sentencing for her.
Wow, what do you sentence someone? How long do you sentence someone for something like this? For biting off someone's
Couple
tongue?
weeks. Yeah, I don't know.
Solid month, I'd say.
Honestly, if anybody has a rule for this, it's probably Scots law. If you had to guess, what country has statutory rules regarding the limited biting of body parts off, I'd be like, that does sound like Scotland.
Well,
so they probably have something on the books.
If the people are
guilty.
in Leith, if they're in Leith, do they just consider it time served?
It does say that she pleaded guilty to assaulting Mackenzie, the fella, by pushing him on the body, kissing him, and biting off part of his tongue to his severe injury and permanent disfigurement at Leith Walk. So that is the actual crime, assaulting, an assault and injury and permanent disfigurement seems to be the
Gotcha.
crime.
So it's
we can
so
look
assault.
up yeah.
So they probably, I'm sure they have stuff on the books for assault. It's just that this assault happens to involve biting off a piece of tongue. Okay, that's helpful.
Here's my question. So when two people kiss and they put their tongues in each other's mouth, it's called a French kiss. Is this called a Scotch kiss?
Well, Young, when two people love each other very much.
Young, I'm not convinced this wasn't a form of mating. This might have been some kind of mating ritual where it's just either rough or maybe, certain people get genetic material that way.
Do you think the seagull's now pregnant?
I think the seagull's probably pregnant. We're going to see a terrifying Scots tongue bird. Just a flying, just a flying glottal stop with wings that's going to become a horrifying, horrifying monster in the lore of Scotland.
It only eats fried food and fish.
It eats fried goats, and it can only drink whiskey and ale. Tepid ale with bits of light bulb in it from a dive bar.
I'd like to just point out that I do believe both of these people were very much at fault based on this, what I'm reading. The more I read.
What did the guy do?
He approached her with a clenched fist.
Okay.
And was going to attack after they already had a confrontation, and then he was going back for more, and then she then jumped on him and bit his tongue. Which, quite frankly, Andrew, you come at me with a clenched fist, I'm not just biting off the tongue. I'm telling you that right now.
That's how I've lost most of my tongue.
It will all be done with my teeth, but I can't guarantee what.
So I guess here, really the thing that we're dazzled by is just the gratuity of the assault. But both of them were already, it's not like he was just, selling calculators on the
she
street.
She didn't just
the oft-seen profession of street calculator salesman.
Well, it happens.
Hey, buddy,
in a lot.
you look like you do a lot of math. Here, let me open up this trench coat here.
All
right.
So wait, hold on. One more question.
Yeah.
The nose is more accessible. It's right there.
That's fair. But I think you're already like, she went to kiss him, which I think probably disarmed him for a second, and that's, you know what I mean? Because I thought about this for a minute.
Do you think that when she kissed him, he entered a moment of ecstasy? He's like, and then just opened his mouth up wide to give her easy access?
That is a question.
Maybe he's angry, but he's like, well, apparently this is working out okay, and like just thought that this was going to lead to some street sex. She's knocked him down. She's about to kiss him. Who knows? And it's it's a pretty good feint on her part.
Yeah. He was hoping that after going for the mouse, she'd go for his Mr. Frosty.
Oh no, God. No, we're gonna move past that. Next headline.
Yeah. So we're gonna blaze through this as quick as we can, because unfortunately we've got a time constraint here. Adorable husky guard dog sleeps through staged armed robbery in jewelry store in Thailand. So this is a policeman is checking to see the response of various places. He works it out with them in advance. It's like they're doing a drill. A policeman who's in plainclothes runs in with a gun, holds up the owner of this jewelry store, and you can watch this husky just laying, and not even napping, just laying down, watching the cop. Guy comes in, pulls out the gun, runs out with the fake loot. Dog is awake for the whole thing, never stirs, never attempts to intervene, and lazy, cowardly dog, but also adorable.
So I read through this story, and at the end it's like, oh, the dog probably did that because he knows the cop, because the cop's there all the time. So it presents an interesting question that it immediately answers as though it was not interesting at all.
It also doesn't.
Again, a reporter got paid for this.
Yeah, I'd like to know if the dog was genuinely trained, because that's never mentioned. It does say guard dog, but they never mention if it was trained to stop something like this. They say they found it
maybe it's just
bodega, but like
right.
At some point, so they never say like we actually put effort into training this dog to stop robberies.
Or what if it's an emotional support animal and they're like, well, it can probably guard things too, and like the dog's job is to just calm everybody down. Well, it's doing a pretty good job.
It feels like a lot of pressure on the dog, to be fair.
Right.
Doesn't it?
Go ahead.
Doesn't it specifically say it was a rescue dog that they saved off the street and would have no reason to be trained? If anything, this dog might have worked with criminals in the past, and he was like, yeah, business as usual.
Yeah, he followed the guy out. I just feel bad that they had to teach that dog a lesson to the other dogs, and that video they showed after, that was rough.
Oh, where they shoot it.
They shoot the, right in the town square.
Wait,
don't worry,
the dog death?
They didn't shoot the dog. That didn't happen. He's become some sort of Instagram sensation in the nation of Thailand. The dog's doing very, very well.
That's the same dog.
Your dog would protect you. Your dog's very protective. All of our dogs in our family are cowards or complicit. They'll like, when I was in high school, I hopped our fence and our beagle and Labrador retriever saw me. The lab hid behind a pillar, and the beagle like just waddled up looking for food. So like we can't count on our dogs as alarm systems. We can just they're basically hot water bottles with legs.
Yeah, my dog is very protective. The last time someone entered our house without permission, she jumped on him, kissed him, and bit off a part of his tongue.
I remember that. That's when you were staying in Leaf.
Well, and on that callback, I am going to go ahead and end today's episode real quick, fellas. I have meant to be doing this. I've fallen flat on it. I'd like you both to vote on a location that's come up today that I can add to the tally for the end of the year of where we're going to maybe go or give an electoral vote or something. What's your favorite place that's been discussed? Nick.
Boy, Andrew was going to talk first.
Young?
Yeah, but well, it would definitely be Hong Kong because that's where all those cornflakes are going, and
okay.
I think there's a special pot of gold at the end of that rainbow.
Vote for Hong Kong, great. I'm going to vote for Scotland. Vote to Scotland because maybe we'll do like a meetup whoever wins. So I'm going to try and slant it that way. Nick,
I'm going to go for Amsterdam. That's my vote.
Great,
for obvious
not bad.
Reasons.
Points to Amsterdam, Hong Kong, and Scotland. And great fun talking to you, Nick Sperdute and Andrew Young. I want to give a special thanks to some of the people on Discord who supplied all of today's headlines for us. Thank you, W.J. Hayes, Eric72, Black Knight 20, and Eric S. If you have headlines you want to supply for Friday Release Valve, you can go to mightyheaton.com/Discord and meet some of the other miscreants who listen to this program. We have a Friday Release Valve channel that you can go on to. Everybody have a great weekend.
Whoop, whoop.
Great. That's the show. Thanks for listening. Thank you, media assistant Eric Stipe, who edited today's program. And thank you, glorious elite orphans who sponsor this program through Patreon and make the whole shebang possible. You can join them by going to patreon.com/Andrew Heaton. Until next time, I've been Andrew Heaton, and so have you.